then a lot of systems were put into place, software systems to do the checking and monitoring. Put systems in place as much as possible to avoid corruption or playing with the we are testing the teas.
Okay.
There's so much of room for somebody to play with that, and so those systems were put into place, motivated the staff, and launched. And then we also have to, we are to launch the Ceylon Tea Global Marketing Campaign. Started the first calling for tenders and all that started during my time. It took 2 years to complete that tender, and we completed and selected the advertising agency. But then, before the cabinet approved it and before we could start, the government changed. So even 3 years later, it hasn't still been.
So you were the chairperson for nearly 6 years.
3 years.
3 years. So we have done lots in the 3 years.
In 3 years, yeah.
Not enough period.
And. So a lot of things, I mean, you can apply through the website. I renewed the website, put a nice looking website for Ceylon Tea and things like that, so that any factory can apply online and submit things. So did as much as possible because...
Yes. So what do you think the current management of a tea board and the country's situation of that overall tea exports, how the demand and supply, and what do you think?
I mean, I believed as a marketeer, I mean, even though, I studied mathematics all my career, the underlying thing is I have been in marketing in some way or the other. So when you have a good brand, when you have a product that the customer is asking for and it's going to continue or even get better because there's a health trend coming in now. So correct, the teas are going to be natural product and consumers are moving to this kind of beverage. So when all that is in place, those are things, let's say, beyond your control, the consumer trend. So that when that is in your favor, we should be able to do much better than what we're doing with Ceylon Tea. But we have to get our act together and believe in that, and also consumers, we have to make, whether it is Sri Lankan consumer or overseas consumer, to pay a little more for tea, because in Sri Lanka bottled water is more expensive than a tea. So how can that be? It's just water versus, do you know how much of trouble goes to making that 1 cup of tea? From the plucking to the agriculture people to growing the plant, looking after it, plucking the tea, and factory workers, everybody, so much of effort, but we don't appreciate it. And you haven't heard anybody complaining about tea prices, in the sense when you go to do your groceries, nobody saying, tea is so expensive. You will buy it anyway. So a little higher people should be able to pay. If we do that, we can pay more to our plantation workers. That is something I really want to do. Appreciate these plantation workers, those ladies who are plucking the tea. They're not appreciated enough. Their life also, quality of life also hasn't improved that much.
So they're resorting in the sector? Are they resorting to different sectors?
Yeah, so some brands have, they are now the next generation, just like in agriculture across the board. The next generation doesn't want to be doing agriculture. So unless we hype it up as a profession and the income, they want to go and work in an office somewhere. So that's a problem even in the plantation sector. So I had competitions for the best tea plucker and wanted to appreciate them and make them feel good. We should not let, it's a difficult industry because of climate change and all that. Climate change is also affecting, that's what happened last year to the tea.
So what of the current management, how they are making enough effort to market this globally, or how they're facing the issues?
I wouldn't be able to say, but from what I see from outside, I don't know from inside, what I see from outside. So we need to do things faster now. Our markets, our top 10 markets for Ceylon Tea, about 8 of them are in the Middle East. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Turkey, those are our buyers. We have Russia and we have Japan. Other than those two, that's outside. Everybody else is in the Middle East. So Middle East is a lot of times volatile, I mean, there's a war or something or the other going on. So if that something happens to the Middle East market, Ceylon Tea will be in big trouble. So we had to look for other markets. So during my time, we went and opened a branch of the tea board in China. China is a very good potential country, because you will think Chinese people, they have been drinking tea, they are the ones who found tea. But they love Ceylon tea as a premium brand and a black tea. They are more into green tea. Then USA, the fastest moving soft drink or the beverage in restaurants is iced tea now. So here's a trend we need to capture into. So like that we looked at new markets. We started putting our feet. I appointed an ambassador for Ceylon tea in USA, ambassador for Ceylon tea in UK, and like that to promote the brand and go around and talk about it. So groundwork is set. I mean, we just have to be quick.
And also, are we losing our international stand on the tea? Are we losing also?
Sometimes, yeah, because of price. And because now our campaign has to start, you know, Kenya is giving a good fight to us. Yeah, I mean, it's an agricultural product. It's a product of our soil, our earth, our water. It's a mix of all that's coming out of this plant. So nobody can copy it. No. Vietnam or Kenya cannot make a Ceylon tea, no, because it's coming out of our soil. So it will be always distinctly different from those.
Yes.
So we just have to promote what's good about our tea and let people appreciate a good tea or a different tasting tea more than others. So it's tough because of, you know, agriculture problems.
Also. Anyway, now Sri Lankan also we have identified as a Ceylon tea.
Yeah.
So even Sri Lanka. So how we can sustain this industry going forward?
So we have to, yes, because automation, labor is a problem. Labor you know, 1 month into when I was appointed the chairperson, 1 month, there was a big international tea conference in Sri Lanka, the FAO one, and I had to speak. So I got on the stage and I said, this whole room is full of men. Okay, so I said, like, what happened to all the women? Because in the ground, in the tea industry, you see only women, right? So when you come up in the industry, just women just disappear. So there's another problem, I guess, so another industry where women don't have a chance to come up.
Contribution to the economy.
Yeah, contribution, the famous thing that 3 biggest contributors to our economy is done by women. And all, but women at that level, no, not at the top level, no. Whether it's garments or tea or Middle East income, all at the bottom level. So they do the hard part, and they are either kicked out or they just disappear on their own when it comes to the top. So we have to sustain it. So we have to look after the labor. If these women are not going to pluck the tea, we have we can do only very limited automation of tea plucking because of our terrain. So we have to have the manual picking. So we have to promote manual picking. Why it's better than the machine plucked? Because you can actually pick the 2 leaves and the bud. So when you pick the right 2 leaves and the bud only, you get the best tea. A machine will be just cutting it. No, I mean, it's not so perfectly done as a hand pluck. So we have to promote that, look after the labor, pay them more. I still say we have to pay them more. And then get that extra expense from the other side by marketing it as a brand and as a premium product, not going for a price war. And but it has a very, I mean, you don't feel guilty of promoting this product. You know, it's good for you, it's good for your health, it's good for these 2 million people. You know, I think there's a lot we can do, but you know, we're moving slow.
Moving slow on that. So
150 years now, tea industry.
Tea industry, yes, we know that. So anyway, so a part of your career, we also noticed that you have done a wonderful job by merging the 6 banks to under one roof, Regional Development Bank. Share some.
Yeah, that is also interesting. Now, when I joined the public sector, I joined to set up a survey research unit in the President's office because I was from Nielsen and I had that background. So, actually all these politicians know me because I used to predict elections and give whose performance ratings are high and who is low and all that. So, all the politicians are, who is doing these polls, and I was publishing them with the Sunday Times group and so on. So, that time the President's office wanted to have their own research unit inside the, so I helped to set that up. So I never asked to do anything else. I first 1 or 2 years I was just voluntarily doing it. So I didn't ask. So one fine day I get a call and said, you know, you have come and meet us. You have been appointed as a chairman of this bank. So I get appointment letter, chairman of Regional Development Bank.
This is after tea? Oh.
No, before. Okay, fine. Chairman of Regional, I said, like, but there's no such bank. Yes, we want you to set it up. Okay, so I was made chairman of an organization which is not there, right? So I said, there are 6 different banks, Sangwandana Bank, Rajarata Sangwandana Bank, Wayamba Sangwandana Bank, you know, so all this now you have to Runu Sangwandana Bank, merge these 6 and make it to one national level bank. up to that time I had been on the board of commercial bank, so that's the only banking experience I had. Even at that time I was director of commercial bank. So and we give you 1 month, we want it done in 1 month, so I took 1.5 months. But from the name to the logo to the tagline to the values, everything was done by me. That's the tagline I gave was empowering Sri Lankans. In Sinhalese, Depain Nagitina Sri Lanka, meaning like people who want to self-make, like the name of your program, right? People who want to make it themselves without, asking for somebody to lift you up. And 250 branches, it is 6 different organization cultures. The Rajarata people work differently to the Ruhunu people. We have our regional, and then there were 6 different chairmen, there were 6 different general managers. So now instead of all 6 of them, they have put me as the chairperson. So there were a lot of challenges. They were senior people. Why did she come? Who is she? What does she know? So those challenges were there. And merging 6 companies into one, just imagine merging 2 is what is happening most of the time. So then I put systems into place of co-banking solution. We went and purchased a co-banking solution to computerize it. So first year we made 900 million profit. The first year itself after merging the banks. So it is doing very well, and it has also a lot of potential. But we are supposed to be that different bank where you will really understand the side of the consumer, because it is rural, small and medium entrepreneurs who come to RDB,
SME market.
SME market. So they are not as sophisticated as people who come to other banks. So we have to be able to cater to that market. Otherwise we defeat our purpose. Otherwise that can become another big bank like other banks and make millions of profit. But that's not the prime objective of when it was set up. I don't know what it is now. So that is another interesting episode in my life.
So banking.
Banking, yes.
Right. So I'm in discussion with Dr. Janaki Kurpu. Let's meet after a break. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. Thani Oruvan, self-made. Madam, now there are a lot of things to talk about with you, with your diverse of your experience, where you come from, how you started. So since we have a limited time, I'm trying to also narrow it down my questions to a level where now it's very famous, Mother Sri Lanka. You are the founder and the chairperson. Please share about that. What is the necessity for you to start that? And what is the objectives of it?
Mother Sri Lanka is actually 10 years old now. This year we are celebrating.
Is it 10 years, one decade?
Started in 2008.
Okay.
As soon as I joined the public sector, I thought now I have gone to the president's office now, so everybody here must be all motivated too, because they are in the. Then I found that people are so negative about the country. They have no hope that there will be a future here. This is 2008. The war was fully on. And in fact, it was January 1st that I joined. And January 1st, the president was supposed to come and have Kiribat with the staff. So 9 o'clock he was supposed to come. We are waiting, and he's not coming. So then we were informed that there's been a bomb blast at this Kovil. Maheshwaran's husband was killed on January 1st of 2008. So that is why president got late to come. And then he came, and he couldn't even talk. There were tears in his eyes. This is how January 1st is. We are starting the year like this. And I know Maheshwaran, he was my friend. He took me to Jaffna. He was telling a personal story. And while we were waiting for the president to come, I could hear the other staff members talking. And everybody's like, this country is, gone. There's no hope. We must. Everybody's waiting for a first chance to get out of the country, saying that there's no hope for Sri Lanka. And I thought, oh my God, I have left my 19 years of private sector career and come here. No, here people have no hope about the country. I must start something to make people think positive about Sri Lanka, to believe in Sri Lanka and be, let's hope and go this way, go take this path. How can even a president or any leader lead a country when there's nobody else believing in his vision? Now he thinks that he can develop this and do all. So I went up and told that time the president secretary, I want to do this. I said, why don't you write a proposal and bring? So by March of that year, I said, you go ahead, you start a movement to make people think positive about the country. That is what it was. So by November of 2008, we launched this. So if I went and asked for give me money, give me staff, give me office and all that to give me a budget to do this, it wouldn't have never happened, because at that time there were so many crises in hand. 2008, if you remember, the oil was $140.
Yes.
Then there was a global food crisis. There was a global oil crisis. They have a financial crisis. Enron and I think all of them were falling at that time. And in Sri Lanka, we are affected by all of those. And then we have the war at its peak. So this is like the worst time ever to go and ask for now new money or new project. So I thought, okay, I will still start this. I went back to the private sector. I came from the private sector. Went back to my known contacts in CEOs and chairman and said, this is what I want to start. And I had a document in my hand, that's all. So luckily they trusted me and gave money to start such a movement. So from Ashraf Umar to Ajit D'Souza of Emne, they were the first ones to write the checks to start this. So I'm still thankful for them, because we have been able to, so thereafter for the last 10 years we are still running on private sector funding. Not a single cent did I take from the government sector, but I was the director at the President's office at that time, and I'm the founder chairperson of Mother Sri Lanka. I was able to use the government infrastructure to help to roll this out. So now I want to make people think positive about the country. Now went to the adults, what are they saying? You just forget it, man, go and do something else, you're wasting your time, you can't change this country and you can't change the people here. They just told me, go and do something else, this is a waste of time. So we found out that going to adults and trying to take this message is really difficult. So we thought we'll start with children. So I went to the Ministry of Education, and there have been 3 ministers of education from this 10 years now. Everybody supported it throughout, and the secretaries to the ministry, everybody supported. So we were allowed to go to schools and do a program to make children think positive. So first program was in 2009. Topic was like what can I give back to the country? The famous Kennedy statement, what can I give back to the country? Then luckily in 2009 the war ended. So there were then more people were positive about the country. Our job became easier because there were a lot of people waving the flags and all that by that time. So then we moved into a program of reconciliation, because of soon after the war, so we moved into doing reconciliation work. So we have a lot of programs where a Sinhala school or a Muslim school and a Tamil school working together doing projects. We don't go and sell this word reconciliation or try to put a new thing into their heads. The Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim children are getting together and doing projects together. The project can be just painting a wall in one school, or repairing toilets in another school, or looking after a playground. So they are jointly doing projects. So by doing projects together, which are normal, ordinary day-to-day things, they make friends, they get together, and then they realize, there's no difference. There's Sinhala or Tamil or Muslim, there's no difference. We are all human beings, So we do a lot of reconciliation work. In 2013, we slightly changed our focus to building responsible citizens.
Okay.
So I feel there's a big vacuum here of our country's citizens understanding what is their responsibility to the country. Even by crossing the road at the right place, or closing a tap when the water is leaking, or just throwing things on the road, even simple things like that. They think that this is government's job. I don't want to keep the garbage in my house, but I put it to the road. The house is mine, but the road is government. So they don't care. If there's public property, just try to, you have toilets, they'll try to remove the tap. What is this? One time when we went to Badulla for one of the Mother Sri Lanka programs, they were saying like this is a highway sign saying, this way, the directional signs is missing. Right? This way, Badulla, that way, whatever. Somebody has removed that and taken for making kottu. In his shop, right? That's a kottu making board.
The sign just turned to kottu.
So that's all they think about public property. Only my thing. I have to run my kottu shop, so I will take whatever. So it's like that. So we are teaching the children, no, you have to look after this. Public property means we have to look after, right? So they are looking after medical clinics, bus stands, railway stations. So there are 2,000 odd projects like that. So we run a competition to select the best responsible citizen project, and they are getting gold medal and silver medal like that. So this is this concept of being a responsible citizen. So I think we are the only organization doing this. So that's our main core this thing with the grade 6 upwards children.
Okay.
with Montessori children, preschool children also. We have another program where they learn 4 different concepts. In all this, my biggest program is called RUN, R-U-N.
Okay.
R stands for responsible citizen, U for unity, N for national pride. So they have to do a project that falls into either one of these, or all 3 of this or something. So they under unity, very nice things. I mean, recently I was in Badulla. Tomorrow I'm going to Arugambi Ampara on the eastern province. We are finishing. We have covered all 9 provinces now. In the last 6 weeks, I have travelled to all 9 provinces. Badulla, there is a school where the principal is a Buddhist monk, and he has joined for the RUN project with a Muslim school and a Tamil school. And the Muslim children are cleaning the temple. Wow. It's so nice. There were actually tears in our eyes. And for Vesak, they have gone to the Tamil school and given a Thani, almsgiving, and they have cooked together. All the Tamil children and Sinhala children have got together and cooking together and giving. So that lifelong bonds are made that way. The families become friends, the parents. So it's not like Colombo, you know, our station, there's a Sinhala Mahavidyalaya and Tamil Mahavidyalaya on the other side of the road. And these teachers are telling, madam, this school has been there for the last, I don't know, 20 years or something on the other side of the road. We have never spoken to them in our life. Just other side of the road. But for this project RUN, we went and spoke to them. And now, like even in the market when we meet them, they are so friendly, and now we know about these people. So it's Colombo is very much mixed up. Our station is very segregated. So we have to do more to get these people to work together. And one day it was raining, it seems, and this teacher was going on the road. So the student from the Tamil school has come and offered her umbrella and stopped a 3-wheeler, and so they can't believe.
So definitely it's a very great thought to bring unity first in your, which you are in the letter in the middle.
Yeah, because part of responsibility is unity, no?
Where the unity that you stands in the middle and is connecting other two.
Yes, and even our name, Mother Sri Lanka, because the first debate was what are we going to call this movement, Sinhala name or Tamil name. So we thought, okay, better to make it, you know, it is not a Sinhala name, nor a Tamil name, nor an English name, all mixed. And our tagline is My Family of 20 million people. Okay. 2 கோடி மக்களின் இனிய குடும்பம்.
2 கோடி மக்களின் இனிய குடும்பம்.
So the 20 million is one family, you know. So that way we are trying to, you know, bring all the ethnic groups.
So you have your websites, Mother Sri Lanka.
And we also do another program now. This is with the schools. So to get money to do all, I'm working voluntarily. I have, you can see, only 2 staff here, but we have a big network of education ministry people who are helping us to monitor the projects in the field. Otherwise I can't have a big staff here. Private sector funding and government sector is giving us access to that infrastructure. Okay, you can work through the ministry and get the work done. So it's a nice combination, and my board of directors all are private sector people and retired public sector people who want to do something for the country. So they are all voluntarily doing this. So it goes on.
Before we go for a break, I would like to ask you to browse www.mothersrilanka.com, where you can see .lk, www.mothersrilanka.lk, where you can see the movement of RUN, R for responsibility, U for unity, and N for national pride. So that's where the connectivity, we are looking at this unity coming in the front, and where we can connect the religious harmony in the country. That's where the RUN movement will definitely help us going forward. Meet you after a break. Welcome back to the show. Naam Natakaha Natin main partitkaha, Mother Sri Lanka. This is the document about the RUN movement. Don't forget to browse www.mothersrilanka.lk. Doctor, we are on the final round of interview time, and now you are known as a Dr. Janaki Kurupu, very popular and very powerful woman in the business. What would be your advice for the women who wants to start up their career or who wants to start up their own business?
Okay. See, all along my career, I never felt that I'm a woman. I never, in the sense, I never thought of like that.
Nothing to draw you back from
exactly.
anything.
I didn't think I'm different to a man for that sense, because I'm trying to do a business.
Yeah.
I believe that only difference between a man and a woman is in physical strength. I don't think in intellectual or strength there is a difference. Probably in emotional strength there is a difference. So that is why I think the man and woman are there in this universe, because it's complementary. Complementary. It's
yes.
not one versus the other. So you shouldn't. If you're a woman, I definitely say you should, if you have some skills and some education level to do something, you should have a career. I mean, you should do something, because what we do in Sri Lanka, mothers, the statistics show that 45% women who were working don't come back to work after they have children. 45% of the labor force we lose there.
We lose that, yes, correct,
so
yes.
that's what happens. Now, who is going to take this responsibility of bringing up children? That is where women get stuck, most women get stuck. So I still think we then can dedicate all our life to bringing up the children, and then they grow up and then they go one day. They are not interested in you at all. So then there's that empty nest. That stage is called the empty nest. And then what will make you get up in the morning? The children are having their own life. So women feel at that stage like I have like no meaning. Every day get up and just cook and clean, and is that all? So therefore I said, don't give up on your career. Manage that difficult time when your children are small. We have to manage. We cannot sacrifice or not get the bringing up the children part. We can't neglect that. But manage it so that even if you have to take time off, that you come back soon to your career again, because as an individual person, you will need it later on in life, and then your financial independence you will have. So it makes you a different person, and I still say I wouldn't have been what I am if I didn't go to the US and live by myself and go through that experience of 8 years. I think that's what really made me tougher and harder, and I would have been a spoiled child if I think remained here continuously. But never underestimate yourself. Some of us Sri Lankan women, girls are starting their first job, really think they can never make it up there, so they start off with that underestimated or reduced goals in life. And it says, according to our constitution, bringing up children is a responsibility 50-50 of the mother and the father itself. So yes. It's only the bearing.
Not only belongs to one gender.
Exactly. So it's only that giving birth part, and then maybe the breastfeeding part. After that, it should be shared.
Correct.
After that it should be shared to make both people equal. So don't expect special treatment, because if you're a woman getting into a career, my advice is don't expect special treatment just because if you're a woman. The employer will not like it. They will prefer to then take a man. Don't underestimate yourself, and be yourself. Be a woman. Don't try to be a man.
Okay.
You will succeed.
So with that keynote, what you like to say, there is no gender discrimination. If you have the right skill, you are the right person to do whatever you want. Everybody born with a reason. Convert all your skills and do whatever you wanted to do in your life. That's coming from Dr. Janaki. With that keynote, I'd like to wrap up this conversation, and thank you very much for your valuable time, and we are very happy and very glad to have you in this show, and you contributed a lot, and definitely we have run this for 2 episodes, and I'm sure that our audience will like this, especially the women who are aspiring to be in the leaderships and entrepreneurs. This will definitely contribute to them.
Thank
you very much, Doctor, for that.
Okay. Thank you.